Hello, lovelies. Uh, so we have a big topic today. And do you want to know why you're going through your illness? So that there's always a missing piece to address. And no matter how bad it gets, you can turn it around. But if you don't, you could be stuck in your disease, not only in this lifetime, but you'll come back in the next to try it again and again. So in today's video, we're going to help you identify your spiritual blocks, preventing you from healing. And we're going to show you how to clear it so you can reverse your disease regardless of the condition in a way that anyone can do. But before we get into our blocks, I'm Con Knight. I'm a spiritual and emotional guide. And beside me is Rita Mustafa, my wife and a holistic practitioner who has helped clients balance their bodies globally for about 20 years now. So we're in the process of successfully reversing autoimmune disease in this body, which we were told was impossible. But we're proving them wrong by getting a little bit better every day. And we sharing this process so you can get better too, regardless of what you're going through. So we invite you to post your personal questions. We'll answer them intuitively with the help of our guides, and let's get our health better. But the big question is, how do you connect to your guides if you're spiritually blocked? So one of the things for me to share, one of the things that happens with me, and that's when I dream. I don't dream a lot, but when I do, the majority of the time, at least in the last couple of years, I notice that my dreams always end up violent. I'm getting into a fight, I'm getting beaten up or beating somebody up or something, but I always get really aggressive and violent at the end. And it dawned on me that this was my subconscious mind, that if I'm in that dream state and I'm getting a certain feeling, that the feeling that I get from the dream is not necessarily about what's happening in the dream, but the feeling that I'm getting from it is something that needs to be addressed. And that was one of the key ways that I noticed I was having spiritual blocks, that once I started addressing them, I noticed that the last little while that my dreams ended up being happy and loving. And that is telling me that my subconscious is shifting, which is in direct relation to my healing. Yeah, and I know, Rita, like you were saying, something happens to you. We were sharing this as well, like something similar. What do you notice that is a big block for you that you need to work through?
Sometimes dreams could do that for me. I also don't I don't dream a lot per se, but yeah, sometimes it's the feeling of the overall dream itself because I don't really remember much of the dream when I wake up, but I remember the feeling. So whether it
Mhm.
was anger or whether it was confusion or just just my mind being so busy I can't figure out how to get back home. Like it's
Mhm.
just so yeah. So dreams for me could be a way. A lot of times it's just the obsessive thinking about something, right? So if something's bothered me or something's upset me,
Mhm.
and then in your mind you're like, oh, forget about it. I'm not, I'm done with that. But yet, you'll be doing dishes, and then your brain is just like having conversations, and like if they say this, well, I'm going to come back and say that, and like so it's just this like ruminating or like just constant overthinking of the of the problem or conversation or something, right? So those are the ways that I know it's like, oh, okay, so I haven't dealt with it because my mind is still thinking about it, even though I'm going about my day and doing my stuff, and I don't feel like I'm thinking about it. But in the background, I guess my brain is still thinking about it.
Yeah. That's definitely key. And I have the same thing,
Yeah.
that if I deal with something, and we're going to talk about that next, but when I deal with something, it's gone. I don't think about it again. But if it's coming back, like Rita just described, it tells me, okay, that is a block. It's something bigger and it needs to be addressed even further. So the big question is, how do you clear those bigger spiritual blocks, not these little lighter ones? And regardless of what your block or your trigger or whatever it is, it all comes down to observation, spending time with it. A few of the key ones that I've always done is emotional releasing. So I observe it, I spend time with it, I try to understand it, much like it's with a child. Many times I'll ask my angels to assist to give me the knowledge that I need in order to clear it. Instead of just asking them to clear it, I'll say, give me the knowledge. And, you know, other times I'll actually use certain mantras and certain words that I'll just kind of say, this is really, I'll just kind of give it an understanding, because oftentimes that overthinking is the ego mind. So I will give my ego mind something to do. But there is a super easy way. But before we get into that, Rita, do you have any ones that other ways that you deal with your triggers and traumas?
Mostly the same way. It's the acknowledging that those feelings are there. So for me lately, it's just been this conversation of an event that happened more than like almost 6 months ago, but it's still, I think I've dealt with it, or I think I'm come to peace with it. And then there'll be moments where, you know, it just creeps up again and those thoughts are in my head again. So for me, it's like sitting with it and also being okay with it. Like it's okay to be angry still, right? So because there's something there that triggered me at the time, and I obviously haven't dealt with all of it. Maybe I dealt with a little bit at that time, and then, you know, those kind of feelings went away, and then all of a sudden, you know, these thoughts are in my head again. And it's like, okay, well, obviously I didn't clear it enough, or maybe something new in regards to that is still coming up. So sometimes I just sit with it. It's okay. Like I'm still angry. I'm allowed to be angry, right? But it doesn't mean. But also I send it love. Like I send myself love for feeling it, and I send the other person love because they're also going through something, right? That I don't understand, which is making me angry or making them angry. So that's how I kind of sit with it.
That's a huge point, that when you deal with it. Part of it, I often think about a little kid that, you know, you're in the department store, and that little your son, daughter, some kid is just acting up, and it's not like you're gonna take care or satisfy them, but you want to at least get the situation under control. So when you say that I'm still angry, but you did spend some time with the emotion, and that really says that you're starting to take it on. And that does definitely get to how long, which we're going to talk about next. But you know what I found the super easiest way for me to dive deeper into my emotional blocks, so that I don't have to delve a lot of time into it. And the easiest way is I ask it 2 questions. So again, I'll sit with it and I'll observe, like Rita described, but then I'll ask it 2 questions. What do I believe to be the truth of why I am feeling this way? And I blank myself out and I allow the thoughts to come through. So it might be anger, guilt, you might see I'm not worthy enough, whatever's going to come through. And then once I have that answer, and maybe it's a few, and I know the truth of what I believe to be true, I then says, okay, well, what is the truth of this belief? And I then sit with that. And the truth is, no, you are worthy enough. No, you are good enough. No, this is fine. And then once you kind of know that truth, that feeds the ego mind, and it tells it that, yeah, here's your spiritual block. This is what's preventing you from getting that answer. But now that you have an answer, it begins to dissipate on its own. And it doesn't mean that it's going to disappear completely, but it will. And again, that gets into our how long for these deeper spiritual blocks. But I found that to be the easiest and quickest method when I need to deal with something quickly, because the body and the mind is going to process its own now that it knows the truth, and it'll deal with it on its own. The second way, or the next way that I found was super great. After I meditate, or when I first wake up in the morning, if I'm triggered that way, I like to journal. And I just put pen to paper. I'm not talking about any journaling. I'm talking a certain type. And that type is just letting your pen flow. And it's called automatic journaling. So when you put your pen to paper and you just start writing words, I just dreamt about this. I feel about this person. And this is what I'm thinking. And I just let the pen write, and whatever thoughts come through, the words come out. At the start, it's a little bit sticky. But then as I keep on writing and getting more information out, more of the story and the truth comes out that leads me towards an answer. And again, once I have that answer, it's enough for that ego mind to be satisfied that it's perceived something, and it begins to dissipate, that I might feel good in that moment. And like Rita was describing earlier, you say, well, sometimes it comes back. So this leads us into, how long does it take to clear a spiritual block? And what's the big answer to that? We don't know. It's like a multiple sided dice that, if you think about a dice, there's 6 sides to it, and some dice have a lot more sides to it, like dodecahedrons. When you look at those multi-sided dice, that means that there's an issue or a problem that needs to be observed multiple times. And this is where spiritual block is that it needs to be looked at and observed, and it needs to be dealt with. You put it away, and then it comes back again. You deal with it again, just like Rita described. So yeah, that's what I feel. Anything you want to add to that, Rita?
No, I think we're both on the same page when it comes to doing that. We do it a little bit differently. So I don't do the automatic writing, but I just go do something that makes me happy or brings me joy, right? So I might just go do some, like a doodle, a drawing, right? And that takes me out of my head, and also makes me not, sometimes not that I hear anything, but sometimes at the end of the day, it comes to it's not as big of a deal sometimes what we're worrying about, right? So when you at the end of the day, it's like, okay, why am I being so judgmental or angry or whatever it may be? When at the end of the day, we're complicating things, I guess.
I like that.
Yeah. So I just like to do something that brings me joy, and then sometimes I will hear something that's just like a thought, and it's like, oh, well, okay, that helps clear up that issue. Or yeah, more likely than not, I just get you're worrying too much about something that doesn't need that much worry.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting that you zone out and then get answers that way. We'd love to know what's going on with you guys as well. If you find that you might be spiritually blocked, or want to share something along those lines too, please share it right now. I don't know if we decided to go into channeling today or not, but if there's any questions or something about your own healing, or you want us to analyze your body or look at, to go deeper, to give you a physical scan, let me know, and then we can tune in. But please share it in the comments now. We'll answer any questions you might have, and I'd love to hear. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Yeah. Was there any comments that you saw, Rita, that stood out?
I don't have my glasses on, so I'm trying to read.
Yeah. So we're going to say good morning to lots of people. Hello, hello. Thank you for our new member that joined in. Hey, B. Good to see you. Hey, Asen. Good to see you as well. It's been so long. Much love to you too, brother. Let's see. We got. Ooh, I like the name, Serpent Woman. Serpent Spirit Woman. Did I say that right? Yeah, I love that name. Yeah, that is beautiful. Hello, Isuba. Great to see you all. Glad you guys are here. There's Robinette. Good to see you, love. Yeah, this is good. So I said I cried after many years yesterday. Wow, that's beautiful. Felt the start of the new beginning. There's another release right there.
That's another release. Yeah.
That's a great release. Just having a big cry. That's a big one. That's a big one. So I'll ask you again, if there's any health issues or anything you wonder about disease that you want to know, please share it now, and we'd love to hear from you. In the same breath, I've got one more story to share. So this comes down to synchronicity. And in around December timeframe, Christmas time, Rita and I, well, before that, we felt it was time to sell our house. So, and we felt we needed to get down south to warmer weather. So that was part of our process. We sold the house, which sold for exactly what we needed to. We then went down to Florida for the wintertime, and I knew I had to get into the sun for healing, which I did. But in the process, on the last leg of the flight, the airline lost my carry-on. So I was part of a wheelchair transfer. So in my wheelchair, they take me to the door of the airplane. There's another little wheelchair there that's small enough to get down the aisles, and two people help you get into the chair, and they pull you into the seat, and you're the first one on. And they pull you into your seat, you get strapped in, and you're all good. Well, what happened is they took the carry-on off my lap and they transferred me, but they didn't put the carry-on back on my lap. So when we landed in Florida, all our passports, wallet, everything, money was all gone. Laptop, clothes, everything was all gone. So that's now we're starting 3.5 months in down south with no ID, no money, no wallet, nothing. But I wasn't really worried about it. But what came up after that showed me the biggest spiritual block that I had. And that was dealing with the banks. And when I was dealing with the banks, they said, "Oh, you lost your passport. Okay, yep, we're here to help you. Everything's good." The next day, they froze my bank account. All the money that we were using to fund our trip in the States for 3.5 months. And now we are trapped out of our country, away from our banks. And the only way that we can restore our account is to go back to Canada and go into a branch, prove our identity. Of course, with lost ID, we couldn't do that. We'd have to go through a process to unlock our bank accounts. And that put me into fight mode. I was like, you are going after people who are vulnerable, who's stuck, who can't fend for themselves. If this happened to anybody else but me, this would be a real big problem. And lucky enough, Rita and I, we had accounts that we were able to draw from, and we had a backup plan. So we were able to pay for our trip and not come back right away. But that put me into, I'm going to go on television. I'm going to tell the world. And Rita's in the background, and she's saying, "Well, what do you say?" You're,
I don't know. What
you,
did I say? Like,
well,
why are you worried so much? Or why?
yeah, you know,
Why are you fighting this?
yeah, it's like we're on a trip of healing, and you're getting yourself into a fight, and I could feel it. I could feel that danger. But because of that, that showed me one of the biggest blocks that I have, and one of the things, the lessons that I've come here for, the biggest spiritual block that I have, and that is control. I try to control absolutely everything, and that was my biggest lesson, to not control the situation. So instead of going to all the news agencies, I let it go, and then I stewed on it for a bit, and then I contacted the news agencies, and nothing happened, and I let it go again. Yeah, I gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. And even now, with the airline losing our luggage, I try to get compensation, which is legally part of it. And again, trying to control that. I was getting in an argument with Delta, and it's like, you lost my luggage, you took it off my lap, and they were giving me the runaround. So I was like, even that, I let go, because it was affecting my healing. I was there for healing, and I'm glad I let it go, because that was a big part of my healing, was letting it go. And we've said before, it's synchronicities, and Rita is a big synchronicity in my life. So she was the one that identified this to say, "Oh, like, are you sure you want to be in this energy?" So, yeah, you're right. You're right. That was it. Anyways, I thought I'd share that. Asen says, "I often find it difficult to breathe and have tension in my chest. How's the best way to heal this?" So we talked about the how-to earlier, but I'm going to tune into what is happening here. I can feel that constriction on you. It almost feels like you're being choked. And this could possibly be another former spiritual block that's coming from your past life. So here's a prime example that we said at the start, that if you don't deal with it, you come back and back and back. And I feel like you're being choked and strangled here and getting a lot of pressure. And it feels like it's getting pressure from outside. And well, your father's coming up for me. That the pressure that you're receiving, I don't know if you still are, but it was the pressure from your father. Now you might have dealt with it within that now, but I do feel that there is something to be dealt with the father. So how do we deal with it? Oftentimes people say that you got to go confront the person, but you don't, because it's not about them, it's about you and how you accept them. So there's somebody in our life right now that's very upset with us, but we're easy to hang around with them because they're mad at us and we're not angry with them. So, okay, you can be angry if you want, but we're not angry, but I'm still going to say, hi, how you doing? And whatnot. So when you're thinking about your dad, or if there's a person, but actually, let me take a step back, tune into the energy in your chest. That might be your father, it might be something else from a past life, it might be somebody else, but why are you then spending time? Or what you want to do is spend time is look at the observation in your chest and feel the energy in your chest, and then ask, who do you need love from? And then when you look at that energy in your chest, uh, see if there's something that pops into your head, whatever it might pop up. Might be a face, might be a name, might be something. That's who it is. Okay. Bring that person in and then have them observe what's happening with you. And maybe there's something more to be unfolded from this. And this is where we start getting into an emotional release, where the emotional release is that you are viewing the other people in your life at an energetic level, that you don't have to face them and deal with these problems one by one. And oftentimes I'll continue to ask them, well, why are you doing this? And if that person comes in and said, well, they might feel really bad about it right away and clear their energy from you right away. They also might feel constricted in their chest or another part of their body. So you then go into them and see why did they do this? Something triggered them to trigger you. So what triggered them? And you see, well, what love do you need? Who do you need to have this resolved? And you bring that person in, and you keep doing that until there is some sort of resolution, and you allow them to hug and love and connect, and then go back to yourself and see if that resolves that issue in your chest, and keep doing that until it finally resolves the issue within you. So that is the key to, at least what I say is an emotional release on this. And looking at the breath, is there anything specific? Yeah, so definitely I'm feeling it's unresolved conflict, pressure that's being put on you. And if you think about when somebody's giving you pressure, you're being backed up at the wall or something heavy on your chest, it's preventing you from breathing. Do you get anything you want to add to that, Rita?
I got a feeling in the solar plexus. So to me, that makes me think like, okay, you're trying to protect yourself. So like, I just got like this, what's the word? Anyways, like just the energy kind of condensing in the solar plexus. So it feels like you're trying to protect yourself from something.
All right, that's fair. SN, I hope that helps and gives a little bit more clarity. I see we got a few other ones here. Brendita, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Father's Day, for all the fathers' lifetimes. I'm grateful for your guidance. Question for you and Rita. I've been using watermelon peel pulp for pain relief. Idea to enhance its benefits. Rita, I don't know, I'll answer spiritually, but do you want to answer from a professional level first?
The peel, like the green part or the white part?
Peel? I believe it's both.
Both.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can answer that question. I know the white part, like that part does have nutritional value, and you can cook it and you can, add it to like stews and stir fries and things. But if you're talking about the exterior, like the outside part, don't know if I don't really know anything about the outside part.
Yeah.
But if you're feeling that it's helping, then there's got to be something to it. I just don't know enough about it.
Mm. Yeah, I find what's coming through to me is that the green part will have some sort of pesticides, even if it's organic. There's some overspray on there that you got to be careful of. If anything, take a look at local farmers and find out how they protect their stuff from bugs or whatnot. So they might not spray, they might use something else. But in that case, I feel that it needs to be peeled first. Now, in order to enhance it, I'm getting to put the peels out in the sunlight for at least 30 minutes, if not an hour, to activate it. And that will get the sun and other vitamins in the peel in order to bring out, I'm getting chemical conversions to convert it into something else. That's what I'm getting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, let us know how that works out for you. Robinette says, I visit a site called Our Spiritual Nutrition. Our health elements are definitely affecting parts of the body. For me, I have COPD, lung issues represented by low self-worth. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Is there anything on COPD that you want to talk about, Rita?
Lungs is about grief. In Chinese medicine, the lungs hold grief. So that could definitely be an underlying. So look into that, the grief part of it. Yeah, I don't know where else to go with that. I mean, why don't you see what you get, and then I can add on to maybe your message.
Yeah, again, I'm feeling that pressure in the throat, higher in the throat for Essen. I feel it more in the throat, also in the solar plexus, and I can feel it widening in the lungs. And I'm getting grief. I'm feeling grief. It almost feels possibly like loss of a pet or an animal. I almost see like as a child. I don't know if you as a kid you had pets, but it feels like you lost a pet at a young age, whether it was taken away from you or something happened to it. But to me, it feels like there's a loss, and it's grief. So on the spiritual side, I'm getting grief. On the physical side, I am getting morning sunlight. To get it on your bare chest would actually benefit you. And we're talking about UVA light, and even so when the sun first rises, we get the full spectrum of colors coming from the sun. It goes from red to orange to yellow, greens, blues, so on. So I'm getting this full spectrum of the rising sun, but it's when the sunlight converts into UVA that's most beneficial from you, because that's when all the chemical changes will come. So be sure to be out there, get the sun on your chest, expose yourself as much as possible that you feel comfortable with, and get it on your chest. And then sit out there for 40 to 60 minutes in UVA. UVA you cannot burn. It's only when the light gets to UVB, the higher, that you can get affected by it. But that's super beneficial in healing. Like I spend at least an hour or two in it every day to get the UVB light, which then converts to cholesterol, to vitamin D, and so on. Or for you, UVA. You can look at certain sites to find out when that is in your time zone. But typically, when the sun gets to 10 degrees, that's when it is UVA. You'll know it when the sunlight casts a really long shadow. When the shadow is shorter than the object, that's UVB. When it's longer than the object, it's UVA. So that's a little poor person's way of figuring out the light. Yeah. I hope that helps. So now we got Pamela, is my body tightness and stiffness inactivity or unreleased trauma? First thing I got was both. Sorry, I kind of steamrolled you off of the COPD. Was there anything else that came up for Wrapping
Other
that.
than the grief, I mean, I would my other thought that popped into my head was homeopathic Ignatia. So I'm not a homeopath. Maybe you can do some research on homeopathic Ignatia or work with a homeopath.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Coming to Pamela Sue. Sorry, Pam. Thanks for holding. Is my body tightness inactivity or unreleased trauma? I'm personally getting both. Actually, a third as well is water. Getting enough structured water. The water is probably more important for you right now. You're looking like to get about 3 liters a day, if not 4, which would be a gallon, near 4 liters, which is a gallon. That is what you'd want to strive for. Now, I know that sounds a lot, but make sure you get your minerals in there so that can be absorbed into your cells. That fuels the tightness, which is the fascia. The fascia and water ends up being structured water. Now, structured water is it will have, so think about the water that goes to the earth. When it goes around bends, goes around the rocks and whatnot, it twists and turns, and that's what we call structured water. But it's also receiving the energy from the earth, which is love, joy, happiness, peace. When we're talking specifically about the water channels, water is also carrying all knowledge and consciousness. So when the water is in your system, that crystalline state ends up going into your body, and your body becomes that crystalline state that protects that protection, but also creates the flexibility in your fascia. And it also is the stream of consciousness of all knowledge of not only this earth, but we're talking about the collective knowledge as well. So it'll increase your spirituality, because when it gets to certain blocks, I guess, it aligns to the Fibonacci sequence, which is the creation of all earth. It forms at 108-degree angles on it, and that becomes structured crystalline water. Especially, now I heard this from Carrie Bennett, who in her science, she's a research scientist that I follow. She talks about how when it changes from flat water to ice, there's that angle that happens and creates this. And she's found this through her observation, which I find is quite fascinating. I really have a lot of respect for Carrie Bennett. But anyways, that's what I'm getting. It is all the above. It's tightness, it's unreleased trauma, and it's also need more water. Rita, anything on your side?
Yeah, minerals. Minerals is resonating with me, so make sure you're getting magnesium, enough magnesium on top of, like maybe some liquid minerals, or mineralizing your water with salt or with liquid minerals.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go to the next one here. Okay, thank you. Good to know. I'm outdoors all day, but my chest is always covered. Okay, I get cold easily. Yeah. But when you're in the sun, it's so warming. So what I do in the morning, so our place, we specifically got a place that has an east-facing window or balcony, and I open that right up. So I'm completely blocked by the wind, and I get that sunlight right on me. And I'm essentially down in my underwear, shirts off, everything's off, and I'm getting that sun all over me. For specifically, that's what I do. Does Detroit?
I don't know if that's what the Detroit is supposed to be. I was trying to decipher that, so maybe you can repeat the question.
Yeah, let us know what you mean by the Detroit really lower. Are you mean vitamin D or the UVB? But that is proven though. The UVB light, you get it, especially on your navel.
Oh, she means beets.
Oh, beets.
Beetroot.
Oh, beetroot. That's on you. Yeah.
That's on me. So, yeah. So beets, I guess indirectly. So cholesterol the body makes cholesterol naturally, whether you're eating foods that have cholesterol or not. So, and cholesterol is made in the liver. So, if the body is making too much cholesterol, usually that's an inflammatory response. So, there's inflammation going on, and the cholesterol is meant to go out and take care of some of that inflammation. So, if you're supporting the liver, yes, beets can be very helpful for that, as is artichoke, dandelion, milk thistle. These are all great ways to support the liver. But if cholesterol is an ongoing issue, I would look at inflammation. So where's the inflammation, or what's causing the inflammation? Maybe you have other inflammatory signs going on at the same time. Maybe the blood pressure is high. Maybe your blood sugars are off. Maybe you have a condition, joint pain or something, or heart disease, whatever's going on that's causing inflammation inside. Take a look at that. But beets definitely always a great thing. The liver loves beets for detoxing and also for support.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Thank you. And Rob says, about 40 years ago, my friend was watching my dog. She claims he escaped the backyard. I never knew what happened, and not knowing is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that grief
That's
that I was picking
big
up.
grief. Yeah.
Yeah, that's big grief, especially a pet. You know, you can feel the grief coming off Rita right now, just knowing that
Yeah.
you.
It's like,
That's good. So we want
actually
to
tune into the dog. What happened to the dog?
Oh, okay, sure. I will tune into the dog. I'm gonna put this back up here. All right. What did happen to the dog? Well, okay. So the dog did escape, but what she didn't tell you is that she carelessly left the gate open. She just walked through. She just closed it behind her, but you just kind of expect it to close without checking it. She just let it close behind her without checking it, and the dog did escape from it. You can see your dog running through grass. So it had a bit of a gay old time just kind of being able to run, which was good. And then I saw it was hungry, and a family ended up picking it up off the side of the road. And that dog had a really good life.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it was picked up by a young family that really wanted an animal, a pet, and it was loved. It had a good life. Yeah. And that dog continued to think about you until its last moments. Oh, that's makes me almost want to cry on that one,
Yeah.
right?
His name was Will.
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 Yeah, a little Will. Yeah. Well, yeah,
Okay,
you're
that's
right.
a happy ending. I was hoping it was
it
going
is
to
a
be
happy
happy and
ending.
not sad.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so let's grab this last one from Pamela Sue. I had surgery for probably not aroma, but something else
okay.
on my right foot, and I still had pain. I was like, how about that? Oh, okay. What is this? Right foot. This can go into your body, Pamela Sue. Yeah. There it is, right foot. All right. My instincts takes me to the right side of your foot, but I'm being drawn to the left side for some reason. It almost feels like it was connected to a nerve. That was the root underneath it. It almost feels like the operation, they might have dealt with it topically, so on top, but they didn't deal with the root that was sitting on the nerve. So how do you deal with that? I'm feeling, that there's the cold sore thing that you stick a little dab on it and it freezes it. That's that what it zinc? That
liquid. liquid nitrogen or something?
something
Talk
like
about
that. Yeah, I feel, ooh, you know, and let's remind everyone, none of this is medical advice. We are take this to your surgeon or doctor or whatever, but it feels like something was left behind. Is what I'm feeling on this, and a cold sore may help, but I'm definitely not an expert in this. I'm not qualified to comment on that, but that's what I feel is coming to me. Do you get anything, Rita?
I just get like the foot to me almost feels like it's like skewed to my right, and energetically I want to just reposition it back to normal. So I don't know what that's about. So maybe energy work, I guess I would say. Try getting some energy work on the foot.
Awesome. Energy work is good. Energy is work is good. Well, so you know, just to wrap up our spiritual side of things, you know, it's been over 10 years for me, but it doesn't have to be the case for you. So instead of letting your body get to rock bottom like mine did, we're going to ask you to watch the next video by joining us next week, where we're going to show you our exact process that shifted me from being trapped in bed for 23 hours a day to bursting with energy and getting our lives back, literally, because you know we couldn't do anything together. I was in bed. Rita was essentially by herself and doting after me here and there. So come back next week and let's heal these bodies. Yeah. Thanks everybody. Bye.